There was a post on the Embassy Owners and Wannabes group that mentioned having a higher fan speed on the AC to help it run better and not freeze up. From all accounts, this is a valid point, as the evaporator coils need that airflow. So I did some testing. No. Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh, yes. A new spreadsheet. Remember that our van is parked in our cement driveway, in full sun, in the Texas summer heat and humidity. So these tests are in pretty hot conditions. I covered all of the windows as we would if we were parked on a trip and we were not plugged in. I did not have the refrigerator on, so that would have taken some power away, but since this is really only a test about cooling the van, I really didn't worry about it. Outdoor temps were taken in the shade. When I tried to measure the digital thermometer in the sun, it got an error. More on that later. I took the temperature and humidity measurements in the van in the kitchen area, as that was more central. Remember, we don't have the greatest airflow from back to front, so temperatures can vary inside the van depending on where you measure. I also measured how cold the air was coming out of the vents, and how strong the fan was blowing, either low, medium, or high. The test went from 10:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon. During this time, the outdoor temps went from 88 degrees to 101 degrees in the shade, while humidity dropped from 69% to 38%. Humidity here tends to drop as the day gets hotter. The van interior went from 92 degrees to 87 degrees, with humidity dropping from 49% to 27%. All right, I'm doing all these tests to figure out how long the AC is going to last, what the temperatures are, stuff like that. Now, I'm in the van right now, and I'm getting readings like 89 degrees in here. It's not that hot. There's no way. Now, the humidity has gone from 49% down to 27%. It's 12:30, but there's no way that it's as hot as 89 degrees in here. Now, I will admit, in the bedroom area, which you can't see because the lights aren't on, it is cooler than in here, which is the sofa area, but we've always had issue with airflow because we have, here, this way, walls, open area, walls. So it has a problem venting and that kind of stuff. So, other than that, I'm not sure why the temperature seems to read higher than what it really is. We'll see. Maybe I just like it hot. Now, supposedly, the temperature in the van only dropped 4 degrees, but I don't believe it. Like I said, I felt cooler than that. The thermometer I use is a cheap digital one, so it could be off, but also I find that where you place that thermometer, even just a few inches, can make a big difference in the reading. So don't rely on these numbers. All I can say is I felt comfortable considering the heat out there. And speaking of heat, I placed the thermometer in the sun at 3:30 p.m., then looked at it at 4 p.m. It had gone completely black and I couldn't read a thing. I had to take it indoors and let it cool a bit so I could read it. And as far as I can tell, it read 130 degrees in direct sun. So I think the fan is cooling pretty well. Now, I did take battery measurements during the test, just to see how things were going. The battery was 92% when it started the test, and ended at 47% charge at the end of 5 hours. That was an average of 5% loss every half hour. Based on this, if I was to start at 100% and go until the battery was at 0%, which I would never do, but if I did, the AC would last for 10 hours under these conditions. Of course, the fridge was off, so that would mean less than 10 hours, but you get the idea. So even in rather harsh conditions, we should safely get about 8 hours of AC, assuming the fridge is on and we aren't using a lot of other energy like constantly using the microwave or charging all our devices. Also note, this is with the inverter off, since most of our systems are 12 volts and don't need the inverter to operate. That's one of the big advantages of our rig. If that inverter had been on, we would have to easily lose a couple of hours of runtime. And needless to say, if we were traveling, we would try to park in the shade and on grassy areas, which would extend our runtime. All that direct sun and reflected heat makes that thermos of a van continually hot. So the AC has to run overtime just to keep cool. And of course, if it had been nighttime, when we usually run the AC, it wouldn't have had to deal with all that direct sun pounding on it. So keep all of that in mind. Be seeing you.